As far as I'm concerned, music is music. I don't look at it as rock, R&B, all that kind of stuff. I just look at it as music, you know. But I feel sorry for anybody who only listens to one form of music.
Unsigned, you're listening to the Freeza Block Show. Local, milehigherunderground.com. Unsigned, local artists, unsigned artists. Music you may have never heard before. Music you'll want to hear again. All right here on the Freeza Block Show.
Welcome in. This is part 2 of 2. Indeed, great show. Mile High Underground. It is the Freeza Block Show. We're very excited today. Very happy to have everybody listening in and alongside, man. Great show today. We have Kellen and Matt from Stone and Dusk and Near Dusk. 2 different bands. I know I'm going to screw that up all day long. It's all good. And we also have, who else is in here, man? Ryan, Kellen, Matt, and Ryan, both all 3 of indeed from Stone and Dust, indeed, and also Near Dusk and Dusk. Wow,
different, not just musically, but he's only the drummer for Stone and Dust.
Okay,
and then flip the card over. Near Dusk, the drummer is my brother. And then, you know,
right. It's 2 separate bands. It's not the same band. Indeed. So folks know.
We're trying.
Yeah.
That would be an
okay, but we're going to talk about Stone and Dust. We'll do that first since we've got all the members here. Are they all the members? Are you guys, or how many? Tell us a little bit about the band.
This is us. Just the 3 of us.
Okay.
You know, a long time coming. Jammed a bunch of people, did a 5-piece, a 4-piece, and here we are as a 3-piece.
Streamlined.
Quite less wrangling of schedules, and yeah, we can make it sound just as big and still convey the meaning of what we're trying to say.
Tell the folks out there who've never heard of Stone and Dust before what kind of music they could expect to listen to if they go and check that Facebook page and click on some of the music to find out what you guys are all about.
Well, right now, if you were to click on the page, there's no music. So tomorrow is our first single. It's called Revolution. Type of music, how would you guys describe it? You guys want to go? No.
It's just a really high energy metal. You know, it's not it's not death metal. It's not commercial like bubblegum metal. It's right in between. You know, it's got a nice. The double bass work is absolutely fantastic. You know, the beats, the choruses get you hooked, and just in the short period of time I've been playing, it's really hooked me. It's a lot of fun to play.
Good stuff, man. Kellen, I'll tell the folks what you do with the band, what instrument you play, and all that stuff. A little bit of background for us.
Right on. I play bass. I'm a pretty new bassist. I've legit been playing for about 3 months now. You know, background is in doom metal, Sleep, anything Matt Pike related, anything Black Sabbath,
Absolutely.
I try and, when I'm playing a bass line, I try and think, what would Geezer do or what would Al do? And that's usually a pretty safe direction to go. This is a little bit different from that. Definitely a little heavier attack on the strings, and probably the first time I've ever played a bass with a pick. So it's actually been really fun kind of just learning a whole different way to play.
Talk about the different ways that you have played before, how this band and the sound that you create with your bass is different than perhaps something that you've done before.
Well, like Matt and I in Near Dusk, my bass is fuzzed out as far as I can fuzz it, and then a little bit more, just
yes.
And,
yeah.
And
all the fuzz.
Here with Stone and Dust, it's definitely a little more modern. You can actually hear the bass tone coming through, and like I said, playing with a pick just gives it this whole different feel. You definitely feel it in your chest a little bit more, and it's pretty rad.
Kick ass, man. We are with Kellen. And what's your name again, man?
Ryan.
I'm sorry. Ryan. I gotta write that down. And Kellen, Ryan, and Matt there with Stone and Dust. And indeed, they are a hard rocking band, man. You guys have a show coming up here pretty soon. Tell us a little bit about that, and we'll rock that out, man.
November 4th, we were graciously put on the Heart for Hayden Festival at Cheers up in North Glen. Shout out to Scott Parker.
Yes,
Rob,
big
and,
shouts out to
Diane.
Scott Parker. Yes,
Love those
indeed.
guys. They're cool. That's our thing. They've been gracious enough to help us get this thing off the floor. And to sort of speak to what Stone and Dust is, it's been sort of a long labor of love and a long time coming. I think, God, how long have we been jamming? It's been like 5 years, 6 years?
6, a little over 6.
Yeah, some of these songs are a little bit old.
Yeah.
As far as the time they were written, I mean, they've been reworked, and we've sort of grown with them. Me and Ryan been jamming since the dawn of time, and picked it up, put it down, and as a lot of bands do, and finally picked it up, and we're like, let's just run with this thing. Near Dusk had already taken off, so I said, hey, Kellen, you want to fill in on bass, and let's just do this thing. He said, cool. So yeah, everyone's going to get to hear these songs. I'm incredibly excited to share them, not just with your listeners, but November 4th at Cheers. It's going to be rad.
That's exciting, man. Good stuff. Make sure to come on out November 4th at Cheers, the Heart for Hayden Fest, I guess, on a festival. What do we call it?
They call it the festival.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Stone and Dust will be there. There'll be a couple other bands as well, man. It's going to be a great show. Make sure to check them out every weekend, man. Cheers has really stepped it up with the live shows going on here for the Heart for Hayden Fest. There's at least 3 bands every Saturday and Friday and Saturday night at least. And that goes all the way through till the end of the year, I believe. Man.
Just about, I think, through like middle December.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Kellen and Matt and Ryan from Stone and Dust, man. Good stuff, man. We love it. We love it, man. How many, you guys said you've been around for 6 years, so you guys have been playing a lot of different shows, or has Stone and Dust been a band for 6 years, or just you guys known each other?
Roughly, Stone and Dust, I mean, the name itself, it's taken on a new face. It began way back, completely different lineup, completely different vision. Like I said, we picked it up, put it down, and again, we've all been in tons of bands and played shows all over. So when our schedules opened up and we're like, hey, let's give this thing a real go. That's when the collective vision finally came to fruition, and that's what you're about to hear pretty soon with
Stone and Dust.
Single, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's get right on into it, man. We've got a single here. This is called Revolution, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Stone and Dust, man. We're very excited to hear this, but hold on a second here, man. I'm always screwing something up with the with the imaging, man. But since has anybody ever heard any of this music yet from Stone and Dust?
Girlfriends and wives, man. Yep. It's and
Start right there.
yeah. The girlfriends always come to the show. Thank God.
Built-in crowd.
We can get them through the doors.
So you're saying that this is an exclusive?
This is absolutely exclusive. No one can hear it except for right here, right now. And
All right.
Debut number
sometime.
1.
All right, hang on, guys. Here we go.
Freeza Block Network. World Freeza Block. The Freeza Block Network. World Exclusive. Underground. Freeza Block Exclusive. Exclusive. World premiere. Only on the Freeza Block Network. Exclusive.
It's deeper than you know. Pesto, the treasure, or life control. Behind these eyes, quite is still screaming fire, raising riptide. It's your revolution. Doesn't mean you lay down and die. I always live with what I know. Too many sticks, stones, broken bones. I can't remember what we were fighting for. Brutality, hypocrisy, or the idea. It's your revolution. Doesn't mean you lay down and die. It's your revolution. Don't just wait for things to change. Support! It's your revolution. Doesn't mean you lay down and die.
Hard rockin' music. Yes, indeed. It is Stone and Dust, man. Make sure to check those guys out November 4th at the Heart for Hayden Fest at Cheers. They're going to be there rocking it out. You'll be hearing that song plus many others, man. Indeed. It's Kellen, Matt, and Ryan. They are Stone and Dust. And that was a kick-ass jam, man.
Yeah, thanks,
I really
man.
like
Thank
that,
you.
man.
Thank you.
Who's I like the fact I like the vocals in that, man. I like
thanks, man.
who's singing it? Is that to you?
That's
or?
Matt.
Okay,
That's me.
Matt.
Matt's guitars, words.
Almost the whole shebang, huh?
Programming.
The almost the
about.
whole sandwich. Indeed,
Yeah.
man. But tell us a little bit about your vocal style. I mean, did you take lessons? Is this did you just, man, I'm just doing it? How
questions,
a little bit about that, man.
All that. Let's see. Well, the vocals, again, like I said, there's been many inceptions of sort of the project. We've had vocalists and stuff like that, and nothing's quite worked out. So the vision came to, me doing the vocals. I took vocal lessons in college, when I studied music, and
Right.
it was great. It was awesome. But those all, needed to be developed for this type of music. So, I've been working hard trying to get those together for that. And I knew that I didn't want to do like a screamy thing. A lot of guys do that.
And honestly, I appreciate that. I mean, but there's a
cool.
time and a place for it, and
Absolutely.
a lot of times I think that especially when I listen to music, I like to where it's a little bit here and a little bit there, but not the entire song being that way. But that's just my own
Me
personal.
too,
opinion,
man.
so.
Me too.
And if you listen to when the album is available, there's a lot of spots like Matt's really good picking and choosing. He's got a good scream, but doesn't use it too often. It makes it keep the impact.
No doubt about it, and it's all about impact. Indeed. It's Kellen, Ryan, and Matt. They are Stone and Dust. And hey, for the folks that are listening for the very first time that have never heard the bell and have never heard of Stone and Dust, that is the bell means it's a hit or a shot, folks. And if you've been listening, you're already kind of a couple in, man.
Right.
It's doesn't necessarily have to be weed or alcohol, but just a little something that you like. It could be wheatgrass, it could be Gatorade,
Some
whatever.
lavender tea.
Whatever you need, man, to get you right on through this interview. And when we make a good point, indeed. Kellen, Ryan, and Matt from Stone and Dust. Ryan, you jumped on in here, man. Let's talk to you a little bit about what you do, man. How long you've been playing drums, and did you start off as a little kid, and did you get the Neil Peart kit drum set when you were a little?
I've always wanted a Neil Peart kit, but can't afford it. No, I've been drumming since I was 3 years old.
Really?
I'm 36 now, so 33 years under my belt.
Wow, that's amazing.
I've done
I haven't
everything.
been alive that long.
I've done everything from death metal to speed metal, black metal, progressive rock, progressive metal, and it's just jamming with these guys. I feel more at home because it's just the music I like. And one of my bigger influences in music lately and ever since I've known was Chevelle. I mean, those guys really inspired me to be a better musician. It's just because of style, and I kind of take a little bit of his style and put it in my own and then kind of mix it up a little bit. But I've got Neil Peart and John Bonham are always
Right.
my top favorite, Keith Moon and all those guys. But it's just I love playing, and I will play until the day I die. I mean, these guys are two of the best bandmates I've ever had, and we work well together. We mesh great, and the bass tracks are, this dude's laying like some of the baddest ass bass tracks I've ever heard, and his riffs and his vocals. And I mean, in between that and the drums, just everything fits so well together that I mean, it's just. It's awesome, man. It's going to kick ass.
That's really good, man. And did you grow up in a musical family, or did you kind of have to? It sounds like you did. If you were doing it since you were 3.
Oh yeah, my dad was a bass player, and the funny thing is, I actually learned how to play bass guitar from my dad, and I learned to play with bass a little bit. But drums are just my calling. Just something about the power behind them, and just that carries a lot of that deep, the darker tones behind everything. And just I always, watching like Lars Ulrich. I mean, it's just like right there. I was like, God, I got to play metal. I got to learn double bass and
Right.
And
Do you have a double bass? I haven't seen.
I have a
your
double
kit.
kick pedal. I use
Right. Right. I see what you're saying.
So yeah, I mean, it's easier to set up. I've had double bass drums, but it's like, man, you got to sit there and tune. It's like, do you really want to do that, or is it easier to just use one drum with the double pedal? So
It looks so
scroll
cool.
down.
It does look cool, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Not gonna lie. It's Kellen, Ryan, and Matt from Stone and Dust. Make sure you check them out November 4th at Cheers. You guys remember who else you guys are playing with that night? I don't even remember, man. We'll have to check. No, it's all good, man. We'll get that in, man. We'll remember how it
Right
how it
on.
goes.
I'll pull that
Indeed.
up shortly.
Indeed, man. No, no doubt about it, man. And also, tell us a little bit about your setup, man. And when you guys set up the stage, is it pretty basic? Where you guys have
It's
or is it
super
different,
basic.
man?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's
It's a combination of basic and unnecessarily complex.
right.
Right. It's easy. It takes 5 seconds to set up, but I love to run more amplifiers than necessary. So
That might be the Matt Pike in you coming out.
it's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
And that's quite all right. That's why I love him as a bass player. Yeah, I mean,
You guys like to
about-
run heavy and loud, then real loud, huh?
Yeah,
What was it
yeah.
at
Our last show,
our,
it's Goosetown Tavern. Ooh, that sound guy. I hit the first chord when we were sound checking. He's like, "Holy, for the love of God, please turn that down." I felt the room shake. I was like, "Oh, whoop."
Wow, that's a little much. It's a little much.
Right.
You had it up to 12. That sounds like to me, man.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fantastic. yeah. But the setup on stage, it's pretty simple. He's got a real quick throw and go kit that sounds absolutely amazing. Kellen's bass stuff. You know,
It takes him a
about
half hour to stack up all the
9,000
Marshall amps and all that stuff, right?
If you're doing it right, yeah.
Yes, indeed, man.
And then my rig, yeah, it'll be simple. This one's gonna be a little interesting. We've got man, I don't want to blow the wad here, but we got a little bit of programming for the show. In my former life as a DJ, there's some electronic sounds we're going to be using, and I know that Cheers may have been staunchly against it, but we may do an acoustic song.
Well, you know, you got to sneak one in
It's my
once in a
show,
while. That's right.
Yeah.
You got to sneak one in once in a
It's
while.
the soul, man. It's not all
It's
ham-fisted.
all good. Tell us a little bit about the, going back to the song. The production work was really, really good, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
Who's is that you that's putting
That would
that
be me
together?
once again, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us a little bit about your background doing that, or if that's just something you're starting to learn. Or
No, that's years and years. That's
Okay, yeah.
that's DIY from the beginning. In high school, I started getting into it with my band there, and then obviously, I was like I said, an EDM DJ for a long time. I owned a record label and releases and this and that and the other, and produced dance music, and that's really where I cut my teeth in production. And then Satan came into my life, and this whole rock and roll.
You made that deal, didn't you? You and Robert
Yeah, I did.
Johnson.
Yep,
Son of a
and then
bitch.
those distorted guitars, I just can't get over it. Yeah, that, and I figured I could do it. I could do it roughly on my own, and then, as technology got better, and the music industry went to nonsense, it just got easier and easier to do to make it sound more like just a big studio.
Yeah.
And with all the production techniques and EQ this, compressor that, filter that.
Yeah.
Digital amplifiers are fantastic.
Makes a guy who's an amateur kind of look really good if they know how to work that software.
I'd say
right?
I could still be an amateur, sure.
An advanced amateur.
Yeah.
No doubt.
I'd like to sit at a Neve console one day, but that's quite all right.
Well, hey, and where do you guys record at? Is it your own studio, or do you guys go someplace, or tell us a little bit about that.
Again, yeah, that's just in our jam space. My wife is super cool, and she actually she built out the garage into a proper working studio. Sound deadening, the whole nine, and not only do we jam there, that's also where we record. Just the acoustics of the room sound fantastic.
So she's a modern day construction worker type of
in her own right, and an artist and a medical marijuana activist and super mom.
All right. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about her and you real quick, just because you brought that up a little bit when we were off the air, that you did a radio show, and we could talk a little bit about that real quick, about what you guys did and some of your background on that.
Sure.
Before we get into the next song.
Yeah, right on. Well, let's see. It sort of goes from her background. She was on a show called John Doe Radio that had quite a bit of traction here in Colorado and I think throughout the world.
Yeah, go ahead and say her
I think
name
they got
too.
terrestrial radio for a second. Her name that she went by is Hemtress December.
Nice.
She's literally the
Love
only
it.
woman with the name December. And God bless her.
Hemtress.
And yeah, she she was great with that. And then we got together and eventually it's like, hey, let's do a radio show on this sort of medical marijuana radio network, and it was called Sex Pot Radio, and it was basically sex and pot,
Nice.
and all the things in between, and current events, and
Right.
laughs and jokes and dick jokes, and
Yeah.
lots of cool stuff.
And lots of whores.
Whores.
No?
Hey-o.
Sorry. I didn't mean that. Lots of ladies
Whore
that
isn't
like
a
to
bad
have
term.
lots of open-minded ladies out there. How about that?
There's a couple.
That sounds good, man. We'll hook that up later. No, just kidding. All right, man. Indeed. It is Stone and Dust. It is Matt, Kellen, and Ryan. Indeed. Make sure to check those guys out on November 4th. Heart for Hayden up there at Cheers 120th in Washington, right near the Thistle Sage Apartments. Make sure that you make sure to check it out, man. It's going to be a good time, November 4th. And did we ever figure out who else is on that bill that night?
You know
Everybody
what? I
started
told you I
checking,
would.
and then we never
I
got
told you I
around to
would.
it.
and I just didn't.
And anyway, man, big shouts out to Scott Parker as well for putting this whole thing together and for getting me in touch with you guys, man.
That was
Awesome
such a
stuff.
great thing, man. I was off the cuff this morning. I just hit up Scott, and he's like, dude, call Steve. Stat. I said, done.
That works, man. Indeed.
Hell
Awesome
yeah.
stuff, man.
So the following bands will be performing.
What do we got? We got Grind Cat Grind.
Yes, I
and,
love those guys.
Red 13.
And Red 13, man, that is going to be a great hard rocking show. I've had both of those crews in here. And yeah, it'll be really fun, man. So make sure to check it out. November 4th, up there at Cheers, 120th in Washington. Uber it if it's you know, you're going to get a little drunk, man, because you probably will. It's a really good time. I've been up to Cheers several times, and it's always fun, man. Good stuff, man. Well, we're going to switch gears now, man. Let's kick it into gear here, and we're going to go into Near Dusk, man, talking about the other band that you have. And before we actually get into that, we're just going to go ahead and play one of the songs. You brought a couple on in here, so let's play one of them right off the bat, and
Sweet.
I'll let you choose which one it is, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we'll play it.
Give me that Sweet Home. That's
Okay.
the rager and the weird one.
All right, tell us a little bit about it, you know, and what it might mean to you. And
Oh man, let's see. So yeah, this one's real off the cuff and modern for me as a musician, and Kellen and my brother. Shout out to my brother Jonathan Norhoff, love you, brother. We have an affinity for just gross stoner metal, stoner rock. you know, COC and Down and Sleep and Earthless and all the Denver bands like Cloudcatcher and
Cloudcatcher, Chemist, Primitive Man is one of my favorites.
All right,
Yeah,
so this is
we're
looking
stoked on
to
all
be
that.
real hard and real deep, right?
sorta. It retains a nice sonic quality, but it's definitely got a jankier feel to the tempos and things like that.
Cool, man. It
You're here.
is Kellen, Matt, and Ryan. Kellen and Matt are with the band Near Dusk, and we're going to play a song from them.
I'll tell you that story in a minute.
This is called Sweet Home, MileHighUnderground.com, the Freeza Block Show. Near Dusk.
Thought I had something to say. It's the world on my back. You can't play God without being the devil. But with all of your things, your money, your property, you can't play God without being the devil. It's too cold, yeah, to have green leaves.
Near Dusk, milehighunderground.com. We have Kellen and Matt and also Ryan in the studio.
Taking the ride.
Yes, indeed. And great stuff, man. I loved it. And I love that sound that you guys introed with and you exited with. And you guys both talked about it real briefly. It was called the Echo Box. Talk about that Echo Box and the cool sound that makes. And you know how
Echo man. It's that is
kick-ass,
a
man.
early guitar effect. I would say, whoa, from the 50s. It's
way back.
literally the size of a VCR. It's a
No
tape
doubt.
delay. It's a tape delay that you can record a section and then play it, and then obviously there's literally a slider that changes the speed of that recorded sound, and it's just the ship taking off and landing, man.
Nice.
It's psychedelic. It's when you got a toke.
That's cool, man.
When it hits you.
Yeah, man.
It sounds way cooler when you're super high.
Just saying.
It's true.
Just saying. No, it sounds super cool anyway, man, whether you are or not, man. Indeed. We have Near Dusk in the studio. Also, it's Kellen and Matt. And also, they are with the band Stone and Dust, too. See, I knew I screwed.
Ring the
I
bell.
hit the bell every time I
Took
screw
longer
that
than
up,
expected.
That
No
was
doubt about
fantastic, Steve.
But, man, make sure to check out those guys. That is going to be Near Dusk at Cheers again, man, with Blacktooth Saturday, December 5th. I guess it's like the
23rd.
23rd,
Oh,
sir.
I'm sorry, the 23rd. I can't even read my own writing. The 23rd, and it's going to be like a Christmas party. They're going to be there with the Blacktooth, and that's a Pantera cover band.
Oh, yeah.
And tell us a little bit about some of the other bands. I think there's another band that's going to be there as well, or you guys are going to say
Writings,
something.
I believe.
Yes, Megadeth cover bands. I forget what was the other one.
Yeah.
I feel like I should know. But yeah,
you might
doing
want
some,
to know. I'm just-
we're doing some original stuff, and then
we're just worried about us, man.
Yeah, right. Well, initially, yeah, totally.
We got to make sure our stuff's on point before.
Until the last song, and I'm like, hey, man, hang around for these guys. Yeah, I think we're doing the original stuff. Everyone else is doing covers, which is going to be super awesome. I love hearing people's takes on cover tunes, especially Megadeth and Pantera. That's gonna be rad. We may do one as well. We got a little trick up our sleeve for that show. That'll be fun.
The other band is called Hallowed Dreams. They're a Slayer tribute band.
Hallowed Screams.
Slayers.
Hallowed Screams.
Screams?
Yeah,
Screams?
yeah. The Chris Barch and
Oh,
the Fruits.
those fancy
Those guys are
metal
good, yeah.
fonts.
Yeah,
get
I
me
know.
every
You know that.
time.
I love that, man. Have you guys figured out any logos or any cool stuff like that for your bands? Or do you guys have like the crazy script like they a lot of those? I
That
can't
it
even read
says like
half of them.
7 different words
Yeah.
depending on which way you look at it.
A bunch of sticks that are sort of in a pile.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's definitely not that. It's very, very I'd say classic readable, stylish looking fonts.
Are you like into some of that stuff? A lot of the what do they call it? The graphic design and any of that type of deal?
Oh
or-
man, I wish. I've done a little bit in the past, but for this thing, I've hired it out. Actually, let me give a shout out. This lady, it's Manfish Inc. Check
Okay,
her
yeah.
out. INC Manfish Inc. On Facebook. Her art is stunning.
And that's where you get yours
Fantastic.
from, right?
The Stone and Dust stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Near Dusk. Man, I can't tell you where the hell we got that.
Top
Um,
secret.
That is top secret.
Well, there you go, man. We'll,
Yep.
we'll just go with the
Yeah.
top secret deal.
and anything else, the wife does it. She's also an artist too. So.
Wow, man,
works
you
out.
are hooked up with that wife of yours, man.
right?
Fantastic, man. Indeed. It is Kellen, Matt, and Ryan, both with Stone and Dust and Near Dusk. Indeed, right here in the Freeza block. Indeed. We're having a great time, man. And make sure to check those guys out either November 4th or December 23rd. I need to
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, December 23rd. It'll be a really, really good time. You can check out either of those bands and have a great time with these guys, man. No doubt about it. Kellen, tell us a little bit about like when you were a little kid, man. Did you like to play bass when you were little, or was it guitar? Was it anything at all?
It's really funny. It's originally I wanted to play drums. When I was in 3rd grade in little kid school, when came time to like, all right, what instrument do you want? And I'm running around the house screaming drums, and my mom's like, no. We'll do a real instrument, with like notes and stuff. So I
think
started.
every mom would say that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even blame her.
Right.
So I started playing saxophone, and
yeah,
I
there
played
you go.
saxophone through little kid school, did marching band and all that. And then when I hit high school, or 8th grade really is when I started playing. Started off, I was a big like 90s pop punk kid, Green Day, The Offspring.
Okay.
That was kind of my go-to. And then I started listening to a friend of mine showed me Around the Fur by the Deftones.
Ooh, good album.
And that album just totally sent everything in a left-hand trajectory. I bought a guitar, got an Ibanez and a little amp, started palm muting and starting everything I could. And I was been in a lot of really, really terrible bands, as I think everybody has.
Right.
But and like I mentioned earlier, I consider myself a guitarist by trade. It hasn't been until the past few months that I picked up a bass in any serious sort of manner. When Matt came along, was like, "Yo, I've got some stuff going. What do you think?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" Anytime, any chance to get on stage is a good opportunity, and it's really been a lot of fun. I find myself picking up a bass for fun now when I'm not practicing, when I'm not rehearsing. It's really opened up my guitar playing as well, which has been really nice. So it's been
Honestly,
a lot of fun.
I think he's a better guitar player than I
You
am.
find some different
very daunting.
alternatives when you're playing.
Yeah,
now.
and having the background from one, like being a guitarist, I can play the bass and understand how the two are supposed to go together, rather than, a lot of guitarists hop on a bass and they try and play guitar on a bass. And I think I've been lucky enough to not have that curse,
Not yet.
to play exactly complementary notes rather than trying to be the focus.
Nice. Awesome stuff. It's Kellen, Matt, and Ryan. They are with Stone and Dust and Near Dusk, respectively. 2 different bands, 2 different sounds, man, and really good stuff. Ryan, with Stone and Dust, I want to talk to you real quick. Did you when you were younger, did you like do drum corps and all that kind of good stuff, or did you kind of like self-teach yourself?
Well, I'm self-taught. I've never had a music teacher. Anytime I go in, I would purposely go into band class, and my teacher was a drummer himself, and I'd sit there and he'd try to teach me something, but I'd play it, and he's like, "Well, you already know. Why am I teaching?" He's like, "Because I want to know if there's anything I can do better." And so I was I did marching band, I did jazz band and regular band in class, but they always had me drumming, because every time somebody would play something, it was they couldn't either hit the paradiddle, or they didn't know it, or they just didn't fit the part. And I was always, making sure that when I went in there, I was focused on everything I was doing. And so anything they set in front of me, I focused. So everything, all the bull crap and stuff that was going on in school, I just focused it into music, and that's where I expressed myself. And it's like now with these guys, these songs, especially Revolution, it's more like it comes from the heart and all our backgrounds of what's going on, and we just, rather than lash out at the world, we lash out in the song and then put it out to the world, and that's how we express ourselves.
That's great, man. It's like a therapy, man.
Exactly.
Indeed, man. Kellen, I want you to kind of take this. There's a little bit of a difference between, there's a lot of difference, man. And tell us a little bit about, because there is a big difference between Stone and Dust and Near Dusk. Tell us how you guys, I guess, manage that.
I guess it seems more complex than it is, because they've both managed to completely compartmentalize for me, like we mentioned before, Stone and Dust is largely played with a pick, which completely changes the approach to playing bass and the approach to the songs, where I wear it on my chest and everything. So once I pick up the pick and get into that mood, it's flipped over onto the left side.
I guess that's what I was trying to ask. Is it a separate mindset when you guys get together, like, well, you know what, today we're Stone and Dust, tomorrow, or today we're Near Dusk? You know what I'm saying? Is there a mindset that you kind of have to get into to, so you don't kind of bleed that kind of sound into each other's band? You know what I'm saying?
Sort of. I would say it's all music. It's all one. It's all under the same umbrella. But yeah. The playing is different. It's definitely a different style of guitar. Definitely a different style of drums. For Stone and Dust. for me, coming into Near Dusk, which is more the the vintagey rock sound, that's way more laid back. Hell, I even play different guitars for that. Just two different sounds, two different.
Yeah,
feelings,
that's what I'm saying. It's like a completely different deal, man. I love that. We're going to go into the last song that you guys gave us. This song is called "Anoint You."
Mhm.
Indeed. Talk a little bit about that with the folks that are listening, and we'll play the song.
Okay, cool. So two things. Near Dusk, the inception was me and my brother. We've been playing music since the dawn of time, and we're avid motorcyclists from our father. Our father's he's a bike nerd.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been pretty great. And he told me once, he said the best time to ride is near dusk. So it only made sense for us to sort of move in that kind of homage to that, if you will.
Yeah.
Anoint You is kind of a weird one, and that one speaks to, for me personally, when I was writing lyrics, it spoke to my grandmother had just passed away, and I'm sort of at odds with my father and my family, and even more so with religion and life and things like that. And that's sort of what came out in the lyrics. They're deeply personal, and there's a bit of a in there too. So
right on, man. It is Near Dusk. It is Kellen, Matt, and Ryan, and definitely Near Dusk. This song is called "Anoint You," right here on Mile High Underground, your music underground, the Freeza Block Show.
I told you, I told you were true. You told me, you told me I said, don't tell me, don't tell me again. It's beyond, it's beyond me. Lord, my Father.
Near Dusk. That song is called Anoint You. Good stuff. And I love that gritty, hard, bluesy sound that you guys developed out of there, man. Was able to check out that bass, man. That gritty, fuzzy,
It's called the musket.
sludgy
Musket.
style, man. Great
Kills you and
stuff,
it hurts
man.
a lot.
Indeed. Near Dusk. It's Kellen and Matt, and also Ryan is here as well. And man, both of you guys, the bands you guys, the music you guys put together for two different bands, absolutely amazing, great stuff, and it's really cool to have
Thank you.
just like almost two completely different styles, and still the same type, the same guys.
I'm glad you think so.
No, I really do, man.
It's always a little
cool, man.
nerve-wracking putting up two like that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know how I was going to handle this interview, but I think we're doing an okay job at it, at least right now for what I'm thinking. But good stuff, man. And again, make sure to check those guys out. Both times at Cheers, they're going to be there November 4th. That's the show closest to us. Stone and Dust. They will be there at the Heart for Hayden Festival at Cheers, and man, it's going to be really good stuff. Grind Cat Grind and Red 13 will also be there. So yes, indeed, Rex I.
Right.
Indeed, the guys with the spider logo, and yeah, good stuff, man. Always fun up there at Cheers. And again, shouts out to Scott Parker, indeed, for putting all that together, man. He's really
Absolutely.
kicking ass out there, keeping tabs on that music scene and keeping it going, man, the way it should be. And of course, man, Near Dusk, the band we've just heard, will be with Blacktooth at Cheers, also Saturday, December 23rd. And with that Pantera cover, it will be a Christmas party. So plenty of cheer at Cheers.
It's gonna be nutty. Yeah.
Indeed, man. Tell us about, well, you told us about the name Near Dusk. Tell us about the name Stone and Dust. Where did that come from? And
Stone and Dust.
It was originally
Christ.
Inherit the Earth.
Yeah.
What was
So
it
the
called?
initial incarnation was Inherit Earth.
Okay.
Man, you know what? You just start picking band names and you write a bunch down and you start putting words together. You have to think things sound cool.
Oh, yeah.
Stone and Dust was because it was, we were doing a two-piece kind of, trying to get the songs together in a way. I was like, man, maybe just two words, and because essentially,
Just it sounded
what is
good.
the Earth? What is people? We could get as deep as we want to go. It's
But
all
did you
Stone and Dust,
get
bro?
Did you get philosophical about it, or was it like that sounds really cool, man? I think we're just going to stick with that.
A bit of both. It started with probably a lot of weed, and a lot of
Ew.
and then hey, these two words sound cool.
Awesome, man. Good stuff. Stone and Dust, Near Dusk. whatever you want to do, check them out November 4th and December 23rd, man. Good stuff, these guys. You guys thinking of doing a lot more stuff, like going outside of the box, starting to, trying to tour regionally or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I've already put some things in the works to kind of expand our reach to areas that are kind of synonymous with the stoner scene. Austin, Texas, the Bay Area, Portland. Just West Coast. Not trying to get too ambitious too quick. The best thing is to just play some rockin' tunes for some people. But in this day and age of social media, it's a pretty cool tool to be able to go out there and say, listen, I want to send this to, I know a bunch of people in the Bay Area, so I want them to have the chance to see this, download the songs, and possibly push it on to their other friends.
Right.
So.
And that's how you get your shows and stuff. So
exactly.
And who's running that? I mean, is it all, you, Matt, that books, or is
all
it
of us,
kind
really?
of all, yeah,
It's really cool.
just kind of how you do it there?
Yeah, honestly,
what you're saying.
I think that's why both of these bands really work out, because everyone's bought in. Everyone does, different things, and we all have our different strengths. It's not just one guy running social media or one guy, recording songs or writing songs. It's, that original, sound is coming from the collective,
No doubt about it, man. Great stuff. Kellen, Matt, and Ryan, thank you guys so much, man. We have just about run this bad boy all the way down to zero. I'm going to talk a little bit over this song. Indeed, Stone and Dust, The Revolution. But make sure to check us out. Make sure to check these guys out again. Stone and Dust. This song will be playing super loud at the Heart for Hayden Fest, November 4th. And, of course, the other band that they've got, Near Dusk, at the Christmas party, December 23rd, at the same place. Cheers, 120th in Washington. Come on out there. Make sure to check out the Freeza Block show. In 2 weeks, we have Pretty Mouth. They will be in here. It'll be a great time. And make sure to check us out next week, because we will have a special surprise for you. It's such a surprise, I don't even know who the hell it's going to be. So, indeed, man. Make sure to check us out. And again, Kellen, Ryan, and Matt, Stone and Dust, and Near Dusk, thank you guys so much for showing up and coming on in. We love you. And, man, make sure to check it out. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. We're going to play the rest of this song out. Freeza Block Show, MileHighUnderground.com.
Thank you guys so much.
Kisses. Love ya.
I always live with what I know. Too many stick stones, broken bones. I can't remember what we were fighting for. Fidelity, hypocrisy, or the idea. It's your revolution. Doesn't mean you lay down and die. It's your revolution. Don't just wait for things to change. Support!
We're going to do it right here, man. All right. This is the funnest and best part of the show. This is where I make my artists. I don't release them until they cut me a promo.
Mother of God.
Yes, indeed. This is the funnest part, man. So, you guys, we've run through it once. Let's see if we can do it in 1 or 2 takes.
This is Matt with Stone and Dust and Near Dusk. Let's try that again. This is Matt with Stone and Dust. This is also Matt from Near Dusk. Let's make it sexy. I'm making it sexy. I don't know.
This is Ryan from Stone and Dust.
This is Kellen McInerney live.
I've never actually heard you say your name.
Yeah, right?
I was going to ask you, hey, man, how do you say your effing last name?
This is Kellen from Stone and Dusk. This is Kellen from Near Dusk. I think I said Dusk both times, but they both rock.
And
all right, so we say it together? Or
just say it. One of you guys say it. That'll be.
And we're melting it down to zero on milehighunderground.com.
No,
Sorry, that was completely ridiculous.
Try this. Let's try this where one of you says, and we're melting it down to zero on the Freeza Block show, because I don't think I wrote
Freeza
that.
Block, that's right.
So,
And we're melting it down to zero on the Freeza Block show.
On Mile High Underground.
one. I'll give you the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
On
milehighunderground.com.
One more time. We'll just say milehighunderground.com on 3. 1, 2, 3.
milehighunderground.com.
All right, man. I think
Otherwise,
that's
try to do
good.
radio with it.
One more time with that, and we're melting it down to zero on the Freeza Block show. You did it. You did a great job. Do it again, Kellen. You're the man.
And we're melting it down to zero on the Freeza Block on milehighunderground.com.
Say one more time on the Freeza Block show.
On the Freeza Block show.
That's it, guys. We're good, man.
All right.
Now back to your regularly scheduled music, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed. Have a great night.
You are
It
dismissed.
is. Yes, indeed, man. milehighunderground.com.
Touch of charms are to dissolve, but do tread carefully. The right hand shake can make or break a friend or enemy. Tongue all tied behind the faults nobody tells. You'll simply have to hope your first impression sells. So take the plunge, and don't you doubt. The tone is set from here on out. A pretty lass you met in class, you got the guts one day. You try to flirt, but red alert, you find nothing to say. An opportunity that you have missed, you can't regain. So don't you crucify yourself, you see you must refrain. You have to lunge to win the bout. No need to fret, just choose a route. So take the plunge, and don't you doubt. The tone is set from here on out. Button down, head into town for your big interview. You need this job, can't be a slob, you've really thought this through. Sitting in the office, see a stain upon your tie. You are so embarrassed that you think you may well die. You have to lunge to win the bout. No need to fret, just choose a route. So take the plunge, and don't you doubt. The tone is set from here on out.
Don't over criticize, you beat yourself up so over things about you that no one could ever know. The tiny imperfections that are so hard to detect. That you are only human is all that they could reflect.
Charms to disarm, but do tread carefully. The right hand shake can make or break a friend or enemy. The tongue all tied behind, the faults nobody tells. You'll simply have to hope your first impression sells. You have to lunge to win the bout. No need to fret, just choose a route. So take the plunge, and don't you doubt. The tone is set, from here on out.
Like what you hear? Want to get heard yourself? Submit your music at milehighunderground.com.
Mile High Underground, a student-operated radio station from the Colorado Media School in Lakewood, Colorado.